Right, Shalom, I'm giving all praises unto Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shemukah HaKodesh. The bonus unto the apostles, a great millstone. And the honest brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And the Baba everybody are coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh. Bashem Shabbat Shemukah HaKodesh. Giving all praise unto Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shemukah HaKodesh. It's going to be a relatively quick video based upon this scripture here within the book of Jeremiah 17:9, where the scripture says the heart is deceitful above all things. And this is a pretty simple scripture, but you know, a lot is really said within that scripture, that one precept. The heart is deceitful above all things and is desperately wicked. Okay, not just a little bit wicked, but desperately wicked. That's a hell of a statement right there. And really it talks to the walk that we walk within this truth, the battle that we fight within this truth, which most of the time the biggest battle that you're gonna find is gonna be with yourself. And even the scripture speaks about how that it's about overcoming at the end. That's going to be the determining factor as to who's the elect and who's not the elect. And we're going to see that a lot of these guys that call themselves super Israelites and God's in the building, all of that, they really didn't battle the flesh. Okay, they was deceived by their own heart. They followed after their own belly, and it was destroyed therewith. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this particular scripture in conjunction with a statement. Just. Now this is a word of the flesh, okay? That's a particular word that the flesh likes to use against your body, your spirit. And this is something that I find with my own walk. When my flesh is trying to justify something, the word just quickly comes up, which is where you get this precept here: the heart is deceitful above all things, right? And pretty much that's the flesh, okay? The flesh trying to deceive you into consuming or doing something that is going to be against your spirit, that's going to be against your walk within this faith. And what I find within my own flesh, within my own body, like the apostle says, I find another member within my own body that I war against. I find this thing where that term always comes up. And when you hear children, women, and the people of the world, that's one of the statements that comes up all the time. I just wanted to do this. Oh, it's okay. It's just okay. And it seems like the word just is totally unjust. Okay, it seems like the word just is used to justify some iniquity. So we got to be careful and we got to be apprehensive to use that word for want of a better statement to make it. We got to be careful when our flesh tries to use that particular word to justify some iniquity. And maybe not necessarily it's just that word, but ultimately understand the battle, man. Understand you're fighting up against this flesh. Understand we're warring against this flesh, and this flesh wants to be comfortable, and it's going to make excuses to be comfortable. This flesh wants to go off, and it's going to make excuses for it going off. Identifying one word is one thing, but identifying when the flesh wants to go off in scenarios in which the flesh is going to go off and removing them, that's the sweet spot. For example, having too much things within this world. We got a lot of cares for this particular world. It's going to make it to where your flesh is going to want to justify keeping those particular things within the time that we're going into. And we know it's going to be the hour of Jacob's trouble. And that's going to be based around Esau using the flesh, weaponizing the flesh to have it to where the people within this world, they're going to be deceived into what? Into taking the CHIP to keep their fleshly items. The same thing with us. We're going to be mindful of these things that we get into, because ultimately this kingdom is going to be destroyed. Don't take nothing in this world that you're not ready to let go of. Okay? Another scripture that comes to mind, another scenario that comes to mind when you're at the job around these women, be mindful of certain situations that can get out of hand. Okay? You got all of these colleagues and all of these female colleagues, and you know, they be seeing how you're walking, they see your anastrophe, they see your conversation, they be digging your conversation. That's you know, where the men of the Lord. Okay, that's gonna happen. You gotta be mindful that you have a particular vibration upon you, and that could put you in a situation. You got to be mindful of these particular things. You got to be mindful that a lot of these men out here, they ain't really real men. And when you come out here and you preach the word of Yahweh Shema Shai, it makes you into a real man. You come into contact with certain situations or put yourself in particular situations that's going to be detrimental to your flesh. You got to be mindful for that, okay? Another situation that comes to mind, okay? The love of money. Not money itself, but the love of money, okay? And I suppose that goes hand in hand with work, and I suppose it goes hand in hand with the affairs of this world. But the love of money, man. When you have the love of money, your flesh wants to justify making money. Okay? Food could be another snare. That's an easy one because we all know what that is. Food and liquor. We could say food and liquor at the same time, right? Your flesh is gonna your flesh is gonna deceive you into always making the wrong decision at the wrong time. You might have those. You're my man, boss. Can I get the 8 wings and the 2 pieces of chicken and the chicken burger? And you know you're gonna feel messed up after you eat that. I've done it, man. I've done it, man. Walk up into the crackhead spot and you ask boss man for a hell of a lot more food than really is gonna be good for you or for your spirit. Okay? It's gonna drag you down. You're gonna be feeling lethargic. You're gonna be moving in a way that's not positive because your body's weighed down with all of these chemicals that they put within this food. That's one example. Liquor. You don't drink your liquor in moderation. You can put yourself in situation, man. Say the wrong thing at the wrong time, but you justify it. The flesh tries to justify it when you was in that moment, when you was in that zone. So, oh, let me just get one more drink. Now you're in a predicament. Now you're saying the wrong thing when you get home to your woman or whatever, or your kids or whatever, or maybe even a brother, right? Which ultimately, with brothers, it's a bit easier to have a disagreement because there's something stronger, right, holding you together. Okay, so it's actually easier to work through things because it's like, oh, you know what, bro, it's just the flesh. Okay, but when you're in the world, okay, maybe you go to a do with your family or whatever, you get too drunk and you end up arguing with your woman or something. That's the flesh, man. Right? And we got to understand there's particular situations, and I suppose that's the point of the video, man. There's particular situations where the flesh, you can hear the flesh trying to justify a particular thing that you want to do. And for my particular walk, for my own walk, the word just always comes up. When the flesh wants me to do something, it's always, that'll be all right, I'll just. And that's when I got to say, whoa, hold on here, brother. Okay? Hold on here, brother. What say if the scriptures about this particular thing? And then I go through to deciphering whether that activity is going to be detrimental or expedient for my situation. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Okay? So I know it's a bit rough and ready, but I hope it helps somebody out there in identifying situations in which the flesh is going to try to deceive you into putting yourself in a situation that's not going to be the best situation. Okay? And ultimately, that's it, man. Identify when the flesh is trying to take over. Identify when the flesh is trying to have a hold on you. Okay? And trying to have it to where, you're not going to do the best thing for your situation. You might not necessarily be going off, but it just might not be expedient. Okay? Like the food, the drink, all of that. Taking on more baby mothers than you can afford. Right? Anything like that, man. It's going to be detrimental to your walk, okay? Or it's going to make it more difficult than is necessary. With that, I'm going to say, praise unto you, Bashi Masha, Bashi Mukwa HaKodash. The one was unto the apostles of great millstone. Honest, your brothers have been pushing the truth in sincerity. Shalom.